I understand that this statement may seem startling, perhaps even unsettling to some of you. You might be thinking, Neville, what do you mean by a simulation? Surely this world I see, touch, and experience is real. And to that, I say, yes, it is real, but perhaps not in the way you have always believed it to be. Let us begin by understanding what I mean when I say you are in a simulation. I am not speaking of some technological construct, some computer-generated reality as depicted in your science fiction tales. No, the simulation I speak of is far more profound, far more encompassing. It is the separation, the illusion of limitation, the dream of reality that we have collectively agreed to experience. You see, my dear friends, at the deepest level of reality, we are all one. We are individualized expressions of the one divine consciousness, the one God, the one I. This divine consciousness is infinite, eternal, and all-encompassing. It knows no limitations, no boundaries, no separation. It is pure potential, pure creativity, pure love. Yet, here we find ourselves experiencing a world of seeming separation, of apparent limitations, of perceived duality. We experience ourselves as separate beings, distinct from each other and from the world around us. We perceive time as linear, space as fixed, and our abilities as limited. This, my friends, is the simulation. But why, you might ask, would we choose to experience such a simulation? Why would infinite consciousness choose to experience limitation? The answer, paradoxically, lies in the nature of infinity itself. For infinity to know itself, it must experience all possibilities, including the possibility of limitation. And so, we as individualized expressions of this infinite consciousness have chosen to immerse ourselves in this simulation of separation, to experience the thrill of rediscovering our true, infinite nature. Now, let us delve deeper into the nature of this simulation. The simulation is not something external to you. It is not a prison in which you are trapped. Rather, it is a creation of consciousness itself, your consciousness. You are not in the simulation is in you. It is a dream you are dreaming. Again, you are playing with yourself. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, the very body you inhabit, all of these are projections of your consciousness. They are not causes but effects. They do not define you, they reflect you. They are the outward pictures of your inner assumptions, your beliefs, your state of consciousness. This understanding is crucial, for it is the key to exiting the simulation. You see, you cannot exit the simulation by trying to change the outward pictures. You cannot break free by fighting against the shadows on the wall of Plato's cave. The only way out is in by changing your consciousness, by awakening to your true nature as the dreamer of the dream. So how do we begin this process of awakening, of exiting the simulation? The first step is awareness. You must become aware of the simulation, aware of the dream-like nature of your reality. This awareness begins with observing your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue, to the story you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. Notice how these inner conversations shape your experience of reality. Observe how your beliefs and assumptions manifest as the circumstances of your life. This observation must be done without judgment, without trying to change anything at first. Simply observe. Become the witness to your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own assumptions. As you do this, you will begin to see the patterns, the habitual ways of thinking that have shaped your experience of reality. You will start to notice how your beliefs about limitation, about lack, about unworthiness, have manifested as experiences of limitation, lack, and unworthiness in your life. You will begin to see how your fears, your doubts, your anxieties have taken form in the world around you. This awareness is the first crack in the facade of the simulation. It is the beginning of your awakening. For in becoming aware of these patterns, you also become aware of your power to change them. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your reality. As this awareness deepens, you will come to a profound realization that you are not the thinker of your thoughts, but the awareness behind the thoughts. You are not the beliefs, the assumptions, the fears, or the doubts. You are the consciousness that observes them. This realization is a crucial step in exiting the simulation. For as long as you identify with your thoughts, with your beliefs, with your assumptions, you remain trapped in the simulation. But when you recognize yourself as the awareness behind these mental constructs, you begin to free yourself from their grip. Now, my dear friends, as we continue on this journey of awakening, of exiting the simulation, we come to the next crucial step, the practice of detachment. Detachment in this context does not mean a lack of care or involvement in your life. Rather, it means detaching from your identification with the characters and circumstances of your dream. You see, within the simulation, we tend to identify strongly with our roles, our professions, our relationships, our possessions, our achievements, our problems. We say, I am a doctor, I am a mother, I am poor, I am successful, and so on. But these are not who you are. They are roles you are playing, costumes you are wearing in the grand drama of life. To exit the simulation, you must learn to detach from these identifications. You must realize that you are not the character in the dream, but the dreamer of the dream. You are not the wave, but the ocean. You are not the role, but the actor playing the role. This detachment allows you to observe your life experiences from a higher perspective. It enables you to see the dreamlike nature of your reality more clearly. It frees you from the emotional entanglements that keep you bound to the simulation. Practice saying to yourself, I am not this body. I am not these thoughts. I am not these emotions. I am not these circumstances. I am the awareness that observes all these things. Do this regularly, especially when you find yourself caught up in the drama of life. As you practice this detachment, you will find that you can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. You will be less reactive, less easily swayed by the ups and downs of life. You will begin to experience a deep sense of peace and freedom, regardless of external circumstances. Now, my friends, as we delve deeper into the process of exiting the simulation, we come to a powerful technique, the practice of revision. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing your power as the author of your life story and consciously choosing to write a new narrative. You see, within the simulation, we often feel bound by our past experiences, our memories, our habitual patterns of thought and behavior. We believe that because something happened in the past, it must continue to influence our present and future. But this is part of the illusion. In truth, there is only the eternal now. The past exists only as memory. Memory is malleable. The future exists only as imagination. All power, all possibility exists in the present moment. And in this moment, you have the power to revise your story. Here's how to practice revision. At the end of each day, review the events of your day in your imagination. If there were any events that were not to your liking, revise them. See them unfolding in a way that pleases you. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. This is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. By revising events in your imagination, you are literally rewriting the energetic imprint of those events in your consciousness. And as you change your consciousness, you change your world. Extend this practice of revision to your entire life story. Are there past events that still trouble you? Revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that empowers you, that brings you joy. Feel the emotions of this new version of events as if they were real, because in the realm of consciousness, they are real. As you engage in this practice of revision, you are doing more than just changing your memories. You are exercising your power as the author of your life story. You are recognizing that your reality is not fixed, but fluid. You are stepping out of the linear time construct of the simulation and into the eternal now of true reality. Now, my dear listeners, as we continue our journey towards exiting the simulation, we come to a fundamental truth that you must not only understand but embody: the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming or escapism. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your reality. In the simulation, we have been conditioned to believe that imagination is separate from reality. We say things like, "It's just your imagination," as if to dismiss its importance. But I tell you now, your imagination is the most real, the most substantial thing in your experience. It is, in fact, the very substance of reality itself. When you imagine, you are not creating images in your mind. You are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption. To exit the simulation, you must learn to use your imagination consciously and deliberately. You must treat your imaginal acts as real events, for in the realm of consciousness, they are real events. They are causes set in motion that must, by universal law, produce effects in your outer world. Begin by choosing a desire, something you wish to experience in your life. Now close your eyes and create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of this desire. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses, see the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents associated with this scene. Most importantly, feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually happening in your physical reality. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having your desire fulfilled. For it is the feeling that gives life to your imaginal act. Now, here's the crucial part. You must persist in this imaginal act. You must return to it again and again, dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must live from this new assumption, this new state of consciousness, regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your physical senses. Remember, the physical world you see around you is the effect, not the cause. It is the shadow, not the substance. By persisting in your imaginal act, by consistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are changing the cause. And when the cause changes, the effect must change. This, my friends, is how you begin to consciously create your reality. This is how you start to exit the simulation. You are no longer a passive participant in a pre-programmed reality. You are the active creator, shaping your world with the power of your imagination. As you practice this, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. Circumstances will shift, opportunities will arise. People will respond to you differently. These are signs that you are starting to break free from the old patterns of the simulation. But here's a word of caution. Do not become attached to these outer changes. Do not seek for signs or try to make things happen. Your only task is to persist in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The how, the when, the where of its manifestation is not your concern. That belongs to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Your job is simply to imagine and believe, to live from the end, to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. As you do this, you are literally reprogramming the simulation. You are rewriting the code of your reality. Now, let us delve deeper into another crucial aspect of exiting the simulation, the understanding and application of the law of assumption. This law states that your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, shape your reality. To assume a state is to experience that state. Within the simulation, we often feel that we are at the mercy of external circumstances. We believe that we must change our actions or our environment to change our lives. But this is part of the illusion. The truth is, all change begins within. It begins with a change in your assumptions. To exit the simulation, you must become conscious of your assumptions and deliberately choose new ones that align with your desires. This is not about positive thinking or affirmations. It's about a fundamental shift in your state of being. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you must assume the state of a wealthy person. How would a wealthy person think? How would they feel? How would they carry themselves? Assume that state now, regardless of your current bank balance. Live from that assumption. If you desire a loving relationship, assume the state of someone who is deeply loved and cherished. Feel that love now, even if you're currently single. Live from the assumption that love is your natural state. Remember, in the realm of consciousness, there is no process. There is only immediacy. The moment you assume a state, you are in that state. The outer world may take time to reflect this change, but in consciousness, it is instantaneous. This understanding liberates you from the linear time construct of the simulation. You no longer need to wait for your desires to manifest. You can experience them now in your imagination, which is the reality of all realities. As you practice living from your desired state, you may notice a peculiar phenomenon. The gap between your imaginal acts and your physical reality will begin to close. What you imagine will start to manifest with increasing speed and accuracy. This is a sign that you are loosening the bonds of the simulation. Now, my dear friends, as we continue our journey towards exiting the simulation, we must address a critical concept, the nature of your true self. Within the simulation, we identify with our physical bodies, our personalities, our personal histories. But these are not your true self. They are aspects of the character you are playing in this grand drama of life. Your true self is the awareness behind all these things. It is the observer, the witness, the knower of all your experiences. This true self is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It is not subject to birth or death, to change or decay. It is eternal, infinite, and all-encompassing. To exit the simulation, you must shift your identity from the character to the actor, from the dream to the dreamer. This shift in identity is not something you can achieve through intellectual understanding alone. It must be experienced, realized at the deepest level of your being. One powerful way to facilitate this shift is through the practice of self-inquiry. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, who am I? Don't try to answer this question intellectually. Instead, turn your attention inward. Look for the source of the I thought. Who is this I that is experiencing all these things? As you inquire deeply, you may come to a startling realization that you cannot find a separate individual self. The more you look for it, the more it seems to disappear. What remains is pure awareness, boundless and free. This realization is not an intellectual concept, but a lived experience. It is the recognition of your true nature as pure consciousness. And this recognition is the key to exiting the simulation. For when you know yourself as pure awareness, you are no longer bound by the limitations of the physical world. You are no longer identified with the character in the dream. You are the dreamer, capable of shaping the dream at will. Now let us explore another powerful tool for exiting the simulation, the practice of living in the end. This technique involves assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, living as if your desire has already been realized. You see, within the simulation, we have been conditioned to believe that we must take action in the physical world to achieve our goals. We think that if we work hard enough, struggle enough, we will eventually reach our desired end. But this approach keeps us trapped in the illusion of linear time and cause and effect. To exit the simulation, you must realize that the end is not something to be achieved in the future. The end is a state of consciousness to be assumed now. When you live in the end, you collapse time. You bring the future into the present moment. Here's how to practice living in the end. Choose a desire, something you wish to experience in your life. Now, instead of thinking about how to achieve this desire, imagine that it has already been fulfilled. How would you feel? How would you think? How would you act if this desire were already a reality in your life? Assume those feelings, thoughts, and actions now. Live from that state of consciousness. Speak, think, and act as the person who already has what you desire. This is not pretending or faking it. This is assuming a new state of being, a new state of consciousness. As you live in the end, you may notice that your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your new inner state. People, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your assumed state will be drawn to you. This is not magic or coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with your desire. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. By living in the end, you are changing the cause, your state of consciousness, and the effect, your outer reality, must change to match it. Now, my friends, as we delve deeper into the process of exit simulation, we must address the role of your emotions. Within the simulation, we often believe that our emotions are reactions to external events. We think that we feel happy because something good happened, or sad because something bad happened. But this is part of the illusion. Your emotions are not reactions to the world around you. They are creative forces that shape your reality. They are the energy that gives life to your thoughts and assumptions. To exit the simulation, you must learn to use your emotions consciously and deliberately. Instead of allowing your emotions to be triggered by external events, choose the emotions that align with your desired reality. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the love that you would feel if your desires were already fulfilled. This may seem challenging at first, especially if your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired reality. But remember, your circumstances are the effect, not the cause. By choosing to feel the emotions of your wish fulfilled, you are changing the cause, and the effect must follow. Practice feeling these positive emotions regardless of your external circumstances. When you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, fill yourself with the feeling of joy, of gratitude, of love. Carry these feelings with you throughout your day. Let them inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. As you do this, you may notice a shift in your perception of the world around you. Things that used to bother you may no longer affect you. Opportunities that you didn't see before may suddenly become apparent. This is a sign that you are beginning to see through the illusion of the simulation. Now let us discuss another crucial aspect of exiting the simulation, the understanding of your oneness with all of creation. Within the simulation, we experience ourselves as separate beings distinct from each other and from the world around us. But this separation is an illusion, a fundamental aspect of the simulation itself. In truth, we are all one. We are individualized expressions of the one divine consciousness. Just as the waves are not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from the infinite field of consciousness that is the source of all creation. To exit the simulation, you must not only understand this truth intellectually, but experience it directly. One powerful way to do this is through the practice of meditation. As you sit in silence, focusing your attention inward, you may begin to experience a dissolution of the boundaries of your individual self. You may have moments where you feel a deep connection with all of life, where the sense of separation falls away, and you experience yourself as pure awareness. These moments are glimpses of reality beyond the simulation. Cultivate these experiences. Seek them out not just in formal meditation, but in your daily life. Look for the divine in everything and everyone around you. Recognize that the same consciousness that is looking out through your eyes is looking out through the eyes of every other being. As you embrace this understanding of oneness, you will find that your attitude towards others and towards life itself begins to change. You will naturally become more compassionate, more loving, more understanding. You will begin to see that by helping others, you are helping yourself, for there is no true separation between you and others. This realization of oneness is a powerful key to exiting the simulation. For when you know yourself as one with all of creation, you tap into the infinite power and intelligence of the universe. You realize that all the power you have been seeking outside yourself has been within you all along. Now, my dear friends, as we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us address one final, crucial point: the importance of persistence and faith in your journey to exit the simulation. This path we have outlined is not always easy. There will be times when the illusion of the simulation seems overwhelmingly real, when your old habits of thought and emotion try to reassert themselves. In these moments, you must persist. You must hold fast to your new understanding, to your new state of consciousness. Remember, the simulation has been your lived reality for so long. It will not disappear overnight. But with persistence and faith, its hold on you will gradually loosen. Have faith in the process. Have faith in your true nature as pure consciousness. Have faith in your power to shape your reality. This faith is not blind belief, but a deep knowing that comes from your direct experience of these truths. Persist in your imaginal acts. Persist in living from the end. Persist in feeling the emotions of your wish fulfilled. Persist in your realization of oneness with all of creation. Even when your senses argue against it, even when the outer world seems unchanged, persist. For it is through this persistence that you reprogram the simulation. It is through this persistence that you align your consciousness with the reality beyond the simulation. It is through this persistence that you ultimately exit the simulation and step into the full realization of your true nature. My dear friends, as we come to the end of our discussion, I want you to remember this. You are not trapped in the simulation. You are the creator of the simulation. You have the power to shape it, to transform it, and ultimately to transcend it. The journey of exiting the simulation is not about escaping from your current reality. It's about awakening to the greater reality of which your current experience is but a small part. It's about remembering your true nature as infinite, eternal consciousness. As you leave here today, carry this knowledge with you. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your thoughts, your assumptions, your emotions. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. Recognize your oneness with all of creation. And above all, persist. Persist in your new understanding. Persist in your new state of being. For it is through this persistence that you will ultimately break free from the limitations of the simulation and step into the full realization of your divine nature. Remember, you are not in the simulation. The simulation is in you. You are the dreamer, not the dream. You are the creator, not the creation. Embrace this truth, live from this truth, and watch as your world transforms around you. Go forth now, armed with this knowledge, empowered by this understanding. The journey of awakening, of exiting the simulation begins now, and it begins with you. Thank you, and may your journey be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of rediscovering your true, infinite nature.
Look around you. What do you see? The world as it appears, or the world as it truly is? We often mistake the shadows on the wall for reality, failing to recognize that we are the projector casting those very shadows. This illusion, this veil of perception, is what keeps us tethered to a life less than our greatest potential. But what if I told you that the life you've always dreamed of, the one that seemed just out of reach, is already yours? That the gap between where you are and where you want to be is nothing more than a mirage created by your own mind. Close your eyes for a moment. Envision yourself living your ideal life. Feel the emotions, the satisfaction, the joy. Now open your eyes. Why does that vision feel so distant, so unattainable? The answer lies in the contrast between what we perceive as our current reality and what we believe to be possible. This contrast, this gap, is the first illusion we must shatter. For in truth, there is no gap. There's no separation between you and your desires. The only thing standing in your way is your belief in that very separation. Have you ever achieved something you once thought impossible? Remember that moment when the impossible became possible, when the unattainable became attainable. What changed? Was it the world around you, or was it your perception of what you could accomplish? The world of appearances is a fickle mistress. It constantly shifts and changes, reflecting back to us our deepest beliefs and assumptions. But beneath this ever-changing surface lies an immutable truth. You are the creator of your reality. Your consciousness, your awareness, is the foundation upon which your entire world is built. Think of your mind as a garden. The thoughts you nurture, the beliefs you water, these are the seeds that grow into the reality you experience. If you plant seeds of doubt, limitation, and fear, is it any wonder that your life reflects these very qualities? But if you choose to plant seeds of possibility, abundance, and love, your world will blossom accordingly. This is the crux of our discussion today. The power of acting as if you are really living your best life. It's not about pretending or putting on a facade. It's about recognizing the fundamental truth that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. But how do we bridge this gap between our current perception and the reality we wish to experience? The answer lies in understanding the nature of consciousness itself. Your awareness, your I am, is the only true reality. Everything else, your body, your circumstances, your relationships, these are all expressions of that consciousness. When you say, I am poor, I am unlucky, I am not good enough, you are defining the parameters of your existence. You are instructing the universe on how to arrange itself around you. But when you declare, I am wealthy, I am fortunate, I am worthy, you are reshaping your world from the inside out. This is not magical thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the fundamental law of consciousness at work. Your assumptions, your deeply held beliefs about yourself and the world are the lens through which you experience reality. Change the lens, and you change your entire world. But here's where many stumble. They try to change their thoughts without changing their underlying assumptions. They repeat affirmations without truly believing them. They visualize success while still feeling unworthy deep inside. This creates an internal conflict, a war between what they want to believe and what they actually believe. The key is to go deeper, to examine the core assumptions that shape your reality. What do you truly believe about yourself, about the nature of the world, about what's possible for you? These beliefs, often formed in childhood or through past experiences, are the invisible architects of your life. Challenging these beliefs can be uncomfortable. It requires us to question everything we've taken for granted. But in this discomfort lies the seed of transformation. As you begin to question your limiting beliefs, you create space for new possibilities to emerge. Very great achievement in human history began as an idea that challenged existing beliefs. Flight was impossible until it wasn't. Instant global communication was a fantasy until it became our daily reality. The 4-minute mile was an unbreakable barrier until Roger Bannister broke it. And then, within weeks, others followed suit. What changed? Not the physical capabilities of humans. What changed was the belief in what was possible. Once the mental barrier was broken, the physical manifestation followed. This same principle applies to your life. The barriers you perceive are not external. They are not in the world around you. They exist in your mind and your assumptions about what's possible for you. But how do we break free from these mental chains? How do we liberate ourselves from the prison of our own making? The answer lies in the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming. It is the most powerful creative force in the universe. It is through your imagination that you can transcend your current circumstances and step into the reality of your human. When you imagine yourself living your best life, you are not escaping reality. You are creating it. You are tuning your consciousness to a new frequency, aligning yourself with a new set of possibilities. This is where the true power acting as if comes into play. When you act as if you are already living your best life, you are not pretending. You are aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to experience. You are becoming, in consciousness, the person who already has what you desire. This shift in consciousness is subtle but profound. It's not about changing your external actions, although that may naturally follow. It's about changing your inner state. It's about feeling the feelings of already being, doing, or having what you desire. If you desire wealth, feel the security, freedom, and abundance that wealth brings. If you desire love, feel the joy, connection, and fulfillment of being in a loving relationship. If you desire success, feel the satisfaction, confidence, and pride of achieving your goals. As you embark on this journey of transformation, remember that the world around you will initially lag behind your new self-concept. This is where many give up, mistaking the old, dying reality for the permanent state of things. But persistence is key. The outer world must conform to your inner assumptions, but it doesn't always do so immediately. Think of it like turning a large ship. When you turn the wheel, the ship doesn't immediately change course. There's a delay as the new direction takes effect. Your life is much the same. When you change your inner state, your outer world will follow. But it may take time for the full effects to manifest. During this period of transition, it's crucial to maintain your new state of consciousness. Don't be swayed by appearances. Don't let the old reality pull you back into old patterns of thinking and feeling. Stand firm in your new assumption, knowing that what you are experiencing internally must, by law, be reflected externally. This is where faith comes into play. Not blind faith in some external power, but faith in the law of your own being. Faith that what you are conscious of being, you must become. This faith is not hoping or wishing. It is knowing. It is the calm assurance that what you have assumed in your imagination is already a reality on a higher plane and must inevitably express itself in your visible world. As you practice living from this new state of consciousness, you begin to notice subtle shifts in your external world. Opportunities that align with your desires will start to appear. People who can assist you in your goals will enter your life. Circumstances will arrange themselves in your favor. These initial manifestations are crucial. They are signs that the law is working, that your new assumption is taking root. Acknowledge them, be grateful for them, but don't cling to them. Keep your focus on the end, on the complete fulfillment of your desire. Remember, the world of appearances is always flux, always changing. But your consciousness, your awareness, is the stable point around which everything revolves. As you maintain your new state of consciousness, as you persist in the assumption of your wish fulfilled, you will witness a gradual but inevitable shift in your external reality. This process of transformation is not always easy. It requires vigilance, persistence, and a willingness to challenge your ingrained beliefs. But the rewards are beyond measure. For as you master this art of conscious creation, you step into your true power as the author of your own life story. In the next part of our discussion, we'll delve deeper into the practical application of these principles. We'll explore specific techniques for embodying your desired state and living from the end. But for now, I want you to sit with this fundamental truth. The life you dream of is not some distant possibility. It is a present reality waiting for you to step into it. Your task is not to make it happen, but to align yourself with it, to become in consciousness the person who already has it. As we move forward, keep this question in mind. If you were already living your best life, how would you think, feel, and act in this moment? Let this be your guiding light as we continue our exploration of the art of conscious creation. As we continue our exploration of consciousness and reality, we arrive at a profound truth that has the power to revolutionize your life. This truth is known as the law of assumption, and it forms the bedrock of our ability to shape our reality and become our ideal selves. What if I told you that your entire life, every experience, every relationship, every circumstance is a direct result of your assumptions? That the world you see around you is nothing more than an outward picture of your inward assumption. This is the essence of the law of assumption. To truly grasp this concept, we must first understand the nature of consciousness. Your consciousness, your awareness is the only reality. Everything else, the world you perceive, the body you inhabit, the experiences you have, are all projections of your consciousness. They are like images on a screen, with your consciousness being the projector. Now, within this consciousness, you hold certain assumptions. These are not just surface-level thoughts, but deep-seated beliefs about yourself and the world. These assumptions act like filters, coloring every aspect of your experience. They determine what you perceive, how you interpret events, and ultimately, what manifests in your life. The power of this understanding is immense. If your assumptions create your reality, then by changing your assumptions, you can change your entire life. This is not a matter of positive thinking or wishful dreaming. It's a fundamental law of consciousness, as really and immutably as any law of physics. But how do we apply this law? How do we harness its power to become our ideal selves? The answer lies in a practice known as living from the end. Living from the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It means stepping into the consciousness of already being the person you want to be, having what you want to have, doing what you want to do. It's not about pretending or projecting. It's about shifting your consciousness to align with your desired reality. If you're already living your ideal life, how would you feel? What would your thoughts be like? How would you carry yourself? How would you interact with others? These are not idle questions. They are the key to transforming your life. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are essentially telling your subconscious mind that this is your new reality. And your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what's vividly reimagined and what's real, begins to work tirelessly to bring this assumption into physical manifestation. This is where many people stumble. They try to change their outer world without first changing their inner world. They struggle and strive, pushing against circumstances, never realizing that those very circumstances are just reflections of their own assumptions. The art of assumption requires a complete reversal of this approach. Instead of trying to change things out there, you change your assumption in here. You live from the end, feeling and experiencing your desired state as if it were already a reality. This might seem challenging at first. After all, your senses are bombarding you with evidence of your current reality. But remember, your senses only show you the effects of past assumptions. They cannot show you what's possible. Only your imagination can do that. Your imagination is the gateway to infinite possibilities. When you use your imagination to assume a new state, you are literally shaping your reality from the inside out. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, one that is aligned with your desire. But how exactly do you do this? How do you assume a state that seems so different from your current experience? The key lies in your ability to control your attention. Your attention is like a spotlight. Whatever it focuses on expands in your experience. Most people let their attention be guided by their current circumstances. They focus on what is rather than what could be. But to apply the law of assumption effectively, you must learn to direct your attention deliberately. Start by clearly defining your desire. What is it that you truly want? Not just the surface level manifestation, but the essence of it. If you want wealth, for example, what is it about wealth that you desire? Is it freedom? Security? The ability to help others? Get clear on the feeling state that your desire represents. Once you've identified this feeling state, your task is to assume it fully. This means feeling the feelings of already having what you desire. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the love, the connection, the joy of being with your perfect partner. If your desire is for a successful career, feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the fulfillment of being at the top of your field. This assumption must be total. It's not enough to simply think about it intellectually. You must feel it with every fiber of your being. Your entire consciousness must be saturated with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. One powerful technique for achieving this state is called reverse memory. Instead of remembering the past, you create memories of your desired future. Imagine scenes that imply your desires already fulfilled, and you replay these scenes in your mind as if they were memories. For instance, if your desire is for a successful business, you might imagine a scene where you're celebrating a major business milestone with your team. See the details clearly. Hear the conversation. Feel the emotions of pride and accomplishment. Make the scene as vivid and real as any actual memory. As you practice this technique, you'll find that these imagined scenes begin to feel more and more real. They start to carry the same weight and conviction as your memories of actual events. This is a sign that your assumption is taking root in your subconscious mind. Another powerful tool is the use of affirmations, but not in the way they're commonly used. Most people use affirmations as a form of positive self-talk, repeating phrases they hope will come true. But from the perspective of the law of assumption, this approach is fundamentally flawed. Instead, your affirmations should be statements of fact, declarations of what is already true. Instead of saying, I will be successful, say, I am successful. Instead of, I want to be healthy, say, I am healthy. These statements should be made with the full conviction that they are already true, not in your outer world, but in your consciousness. Remember, your consciousness is the only reality. When you make these statements with conviction, you are not describing what you want to be true. You are describing what is true on the level of consciousness, and what is true in consciousness must inevitably manifest in experience. As you practice living from the end, you will likely encounter resistance. Your old beliefs, your habitual thoughts and feelings will try to reassert themselves. This is normal. It's simply the momentum of your past assumptions. The key is to persist. Every time you catch yourself slipping back into old patterns of thought and feeling, gently but firmly redirect your attention to your new assumption. Remember, you're not trying to change anything external. You are simply choosing to occupy a different state of consciousness. This persistence is crucial. The outer world may not change immediately. In fact, at first you might see evidence that seems to contradict your new assumption. This is where many people give up, thinking that the law isn't working. But this apparent contradiction is actually a good sign. It means that your old reality is starting to crumble, making way for your new assumption to manifest. Then you plant a seed. At first, you see no evidence of growth. In fact, the ground might look exactly the same as it did before you planted the seed. But beneath the surface, changes are happening. The seed is germinating. Roots are forming. It's only a matter of time before you see the first shoots break through the soil. Your assumption works in the same way. When you first adopt a new assumption, you might not see immediate changes in your outer world. But beneath the surface, in the depths of your subconscious mind, powerful forces are at work. Your new assumption is taking root, rearranging the patterns of your life to align with your desire. Your job during this period is to tend to your assumption like a gardener tends to a seed. Water it with your attention. Nourish it with your faith. Protect it from the weeds of doubt and negative thinking. Trust in the law, knowing that what you have planted in consciousness must inevitably bear fruit in its. As you persist in your new assumption, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your outer world. These might start small, a chance encounter, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in how people respond to you. These are the first shoots of your new reality, breaking through the soil of your old assumptions. Acknowledge these signs, be grateful for them, but don't cling to them. Keep your focus on the end, on the full manifestation of your desire. Remember, you're not working towards your desire. In consciousness, you already have it. You're simply allowing it to unfold in your experience. This process of becoming your ideal self through the law of assumption is not about changing who you are. It's about revealing who you truly are. It's about stepping into the fullness of your being, expressing the infinite potential that has always existed within you. As you continue to practice living from the end, you'll find that it becomes more and more natural. What once felt like an effort of imagination begins to feel like your normal state of being. This is a sign that your new assumptions is becoming firmly established in your subconscious mind. At this point, you've reached a crucial milestone in your journey of transformation. You've shifted from trying to become your ideal self to being your ideal self. The gap between who you are and who you want to be has disappeared. Not because you've changed anything external, but because you've changed everything internal. This internal change is the key to lasting transformation. When you change externally without changing internally, the change is often temporary. You might achieve your goal, but you'll struggle to maintain it because your inner state hasn't aligned with your outer achievement. But when you change internally first, then you assume the state already being your ideal self. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. The change is lasting because it's rooted in the deepest levels of your being. As we move forward, we'll explore specific techniques and practices to help you maintain this new state of being. We'll look at ways to integrate your new assumption to every aspect of your life, ensuring that your transformation is complete and permanent. But for now, I want you to reflect on this question. If you were already living as your ideal self, what would be different about your thoughts, feelings, and actions right now, in this very moment? Now that we've explored the power of assumption and the art of living from the end, it's time to turn our attention to the practical aspects of manifesting your best life. The principles we've discussed are profound, but their true power lies in their application. How do we take these lofty concepts and weave them into the fabric of our daily lives? The key lies in practice and persistence. Just as a musician must practice daily to master their instrument, or an athlete must train consistently to excel in their sport, so too must we practice the art of conscious creation to manifest our best life. Think of your consciousness as of a muscle. Like any muscle, it grows stronger with consistent use. Each time you deliberately assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you are strengthening your ability to shape your reality. But this strength doesn't come overnight. It's built through daily, devoted practice. So, what does this practice look like? It begins the moment you wake up. Those first few minutes of consciousness as you transition from sleep to wakefulness are incredibly potent. Your subconscious mind is still open and receptive, making it the perfect time to plant the seeds of your desired reality. As you open your eyes each morning, before you engage with the outside world, take a moment to feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of already being, doing, or having what you desire. Let this feeling permeate your entire being. This morning practice sets the tone for your entire day. It's like tuning an instrument before a performance. You're tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desired reality. But your practice doesn't end there. Throughout your day, you encounter countless opportunities to reinforce your new assumption. Every interaction, every task, every moment is a chance to live from the state of your wish fulfilled. For instance, if your desire is for greater success in your career, approach each task as if you're already the successful person you aspire to be. How would that version of you handle this meeting? How would they approach this challenge? How would they interact with their colleagues? This constant reinforcement is crucial. Remember, you're not trying to change your reality through force of will. You're allowing a new reality to unfold by consistently occupying a new state of consciousness. One powerful technique to maintain this state throughout your day is the use of I remember when statements. Instead of focusing on your current circumstances, create memories of your desired future as if it's already happened. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, you might say to yourself, I remember when I used to worry about money. Now, it flows to me ethically and in abundance. Or if your desire is for improved health, you might think, I remember when I used to feel tired and sluggish. Now I wake up each day feeling vibrant and full of energy. These I remember when statements serve a dual purpose. They reinforce your new assumption by treating it as an already accomplished fact, and they create a sense of distance from your old reality, making it easier to let go of limiting beliefs and habits. Another crucial aspect of your daily practice is to mind your mental diet. Just as you're careful about what you put into your body, be mindful of what you allow into your mind. The thoughts you entertain, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, all of these influence your state of consciousness. Seek out information and experiences that align with your desired reality. Surround yourself with people who support and inspire you. Engage in activities that make you feel the way you want to feel in your ideal life. This doesn't mean you should ignore challenges or pretend that everything is perfect. Rather, it means approaching everything from the perspective of your ideal self. How would the version of you who is already living your best life handle this situation? As you go through your day, pay attention to your inner dialogue. The conversations you have with yourself are perhaps the most important of all. Are you speaking to yourself as someone who is already living their best life, or are you reinforcing old, limiting beliefs? When you catch yourself slipping into negative self-talk or doubt, don't judge or criticize yourself. Simply redirect your thoughts back to your desired state. Remember, you're not trying to force yourself to think positively. You're choosing to occupy a state of consciousness where these positive thoughts. This brings us to an important point, the role of emotion in manifesting your best life. Your emotions are not just reactions to your circumstances. They are powerful creative forces. The emotion you consistently feel, the emotion you will consistently experience in your outer world. This is why it's crucial to not just think about your desire, but to feel it. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of already having what you want. Let these emotions infuse every cell of your body. The more real you can make these feelings, the more powerful your manifestation will be. One effective way to amplify these emotions is through visualization. Set aside time each day to vividly imagine scenes that imply your desire is already fulfilled. Use all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents associated with your desire. As you practice this visualization, pay particular attention to the feeling it generates. This feeling is the essence of your desire. It's what you're really after. Hold on to this feeling. Let it expand within you and carry it with you throughout your day. Now, as you consistently practice living from the end and maintaining your desired state, you will inevitably face challenges. There will be times when your outer world seems to contradict your inner assumption. This is where persistence becomes crucial. Remember, your current circumstances are the result of past assumptions. They have no power to dictate your future unless you give them that power. When faced with seeming contradictions, double down on your assumption. Remind yourself that your consciousness is the only reality, and what you're experiencing externally is simply the shadow of past thoughts and beliefs. This persistence in the face of contrary evidence is what separates those who successfully manifest their desires from those who don't. It's easy to maintain your assumption when everything is going smoothly. The real test comes when things appear to be going wrong. In these moments, treat the challenging circumstances as opportunities to strengthen your faith in the law. Instead of reacting with doubt or fear, respond with the calm assurance of someone who knows that their desire is already a done deal in conscience. Another powerful practice to reinforce your assumption is the use of affirmations, but not in the way they're commonly used. Most people use affirmations as a form of positive self-talk, repeating phrases they hope will come true. But from the perspective of conscious creation, this approach is fundamentally flawed. Instead, your affirmations should be statements of fact, declarations of what is already true in consciousness. Don't say, I will be successful. Say, I am successful. Don't say, I wanted to be healthy. Say, I'm healthy. These statements should be made with the full conviction that they are already true, not in your outer world, but in your consciousness. As you make these declarations, feel the truth of them. Let the feeling of these statements being true permeate your entire being. This feeling is the bridge between your inner assumption and its outer manifestation. Now, as you persist in your practice, you begin to notice changes in your outer world. These might start small, a shift in how people respond to you, unexpected opportunities arising, coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. These are signs that your new assumption is beginning to manifest. Acknowledge these signs. Be grateful for them, but don't cling to them. Keep your focus on the end, on the complete fulfillment of your desire. Remember, you're not working toward your desire. In consciousness, you already have it. You're simply allowing it to unfold in your experience. As your practice deepens, you'll find that living from the end becomes more and more natural. What once felt like an effort of imagination begins to feel like your normal state of being. This is a sign that your new assumption is becoming firmly established in your subconscious mind. At this point, you reach the crucial milestone in your journey of transformation. You've shifted from trying to become your ideal self to being your ideal self. The gap between who you are and who you want to be has disappeared, not because you've changed anything external, but because you've changed everything internal. This internal change is the key to lasting transformation. When you change externally without changing internally, the change is often temporary. You might achieve your goal, but you'll struggle to maintain it because your inner state hasn't aligned with your outer achievement. But when you change internally first, then you assume the state of already being your ideal self. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. The change is lasting because it's rooted in the deepest levels of your being. As you continue on this path, remember that manifesting your best life is not a destination, but a journey. It's a constant process of expansion, of pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible for yourself. As you achieve one desire, you'll find new desires rising. This is natural and beautiful. It's the universe's way of calling you to ever greater expressions of yourself. The practices we've discussed, morning and evening routines. I remember when statements, visualization, affirmations, maintaining your mental diet. These are not tasks to be completed and then set aside. They are tools for ongoing growth and expansion. They are the means by which you continually refine and elevate your state of consciousness. I want to remind you of a fundamental truth. You are already whole, complete, and perfect. Your journey of manifesting your best life is not about becoming something you're not. It's about revealing the greatness that has always existed within you. It's about aligning your outer world with the truth of your inner being. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. Let it inform every thought, every feeling, every action. Know that the life you dream of is not some distant possibility. It is a present reality waiting for you to tap into it. Your task is not to make it happen, but to allow it to unfold by consistently being the person who already has it. Remember, the power to shape your reality lies within you. It always has, and it always will. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Your best life is not just a possibility. In consciousness, it's already yours. Now go forth and live it.
My dear friends, we are here to explore a profound truth, a divine principle that has the power to reshape your entire existence. Tonight, we shall delve into the art of acting as you are the best. Now, let me be clear from the outset. When I speak of acting as you are the best, I am not referring to some external, worldly concept of superiority. No, my beloved, I am speaking of something far more profound, far more divine. I am speaking of recognizing and embodying the God within you, the perfect. You see, the great secret of life is this: your imagination is God. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. And when you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, you will understand that acting as you are the best is not an act at all. It is a revelation of your true nature. Let us begin by understanding the nature of reality. The world you see around you with all its seeming solidity is nothing but a shadow, a reflection of your own consciousness. It is a mirror showing you the contents of your own mind. And just as a mirror faithfully reflects whatever stands before it, so does your world reflect your beliefs about yourself and your place in it. So, when I urge you to act as you are the best, I am inviting you to change the image in the mirror. I am calling you to revise your concept of self, to see yourself as the divine, perfect being that you truly are. For when you do this, when you hold this image firmly in your mind, the outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I act as I am the best when my current circumstances tell me otherwise? Ah, my dear friends, this is where faith comes in. Not faith in some external deity or power, but faith in the God within you. Faith in the power of your own imagination. You must dare to assume the feeling of being the best, even when all external evidence contradicts it. Remember, the evidence of your senses is nothing but the fruit of past beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. But you, my beloved, are not bound by the past. You're free to plant new seeds, to imagine a new self, a new reality. Let me share with you a fundamental law of mind. What you assume, you become. Your assumptions have persisted in, hardened into fact. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the creative power of God working through you. When you assume the feeling of being the best, when you live from that state, you are literally reshaping your reality at its most fundamental level. Now let us explore how to put this principle into practice. The key lies in what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter into the state of consciousness of already being best. Feel it, live it, breathe it, Make it so real, your imagination, that it becomes impossible to tell where imagination ends and reality begins. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself as the absolute best in your field, in your relationships, in your spiritual life. See yourself moving through the world with the confidence and grace of someone who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are the best. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the deep sense of fulfillment that comes with this state. Use the crucial parts. You must maintain this feeling. You must live from this state. When you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you. Let it infuse every aspect of your life. Speak as the best would speak. Move as the best would move. Make decisions as the best would make them. You may ask, but Neville, isn't this deception? Am I not lying to myself? My dear friends, nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, your imagination is God. When you imagine yourself as the best, you are not creating a fantasy. You are recognizing a divine truth that has always existed. You are letting go of the illusion of limitation and embracing your true, limitless nature. Consider the words of Scripture. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is not a command to strive endlessly for an unattainable ideal. It is a recognition of what you already are. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Perfection is your true nature. Being the best is your birthright. Now let me address a common misconception. Acting as you are the best does not mean comparing yourself to others or seeking to outdo them. Remember, there is only one God, one consciousness, expressing itself through all. When you truly embody being the best, you recognize this same divinity in all beings. You lift others up, for you understand that their success is your success, their joy is your joy. This understanding leads to a profound shift in how you move through the world. Instead of competing, you collaborate. Instead of seeking to prove your worth, you freely express your gifts. You become a channel for the divine, allowing the infinite creativity of God to flow through you unimpeded. Let us now explore the practical aspects of living from this state of being the best. It begins with your self-talk, the inner conversation you carry on throughout the day. Most people, unaware of the creative power of their words, constantly affirm their limitations and shortcomings. They say things like, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's too hard for me." But you, my dear friends, knowing the truth of who you are, must vigilantly guard your inner conversation. Speak to yourself as you would speak to the best. Encourage yourself, uplift yourself. Remind yourself of your divine nature. Let your inner dialogue be a constant affirmation of your perfection and power. Remember, your inner conversations are the fabric from which your reality is woven. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And make no mistake, these seeds will grow. They will bear fruit in your external world. So choose your inner words wisely, lovingly, powerfully. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Surely you might think, I can't just imagine being the best. I must do something to make it a reality. And you are right, action is important. But understand this. Inspired action flows naturally from a changed state of consciousness. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you will find yourself naturally taking actions aligned with that state. You won't have to force yourself to work hard or make difficult choices. The right actions will come to you effortlessly, joyfully. There's a natural expression of your new self-concept. This is the meaning behind the scriptural advice to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of God is not some far-off heavenly realm. It is a state of consciousness. The state of knowing yourself as one with God is the best expression of divine perfection. When you seek this state first, when you live from it consistently, everything else falls into place. Now, let us address the challenges you may face as you embark on this journey of acting as you are the best. There will be times when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your new self-concept. In these moments, you must stand firm in your faith. Remember, the outer world is nothing but a shadow. a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power over you unless you give it power. Your task is to remain faithful to your vision, to a new concept of self. This is what it means to live by faith and not by sight. It is a commitment to your imaginal acts, a steadfast loyalty to the God within you. For remember, your human eyes may see lack, limitation, and failure, but the eye of God, your imagination, sees only perfection, abundance, and success. Let me share with you a powerful technique to strengthen your faith and deepen your embodiment of being the best. Each night, as you lie in bed drifting off to sleep, create a scene in your imagination that implies you are living as the best. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually happening. Perhaps you imagine yourself receiving an award for being the best in your field. Feel the weight of the award in your hands. Hear the applause of the audience. See the smiles of your loved ones. Or perhaps you imagine a quiet moment of deep satisfaction, knowing that you have given your absolute best and achieved remarkable results. Whatever scene you choose, replay it in your mind as you fall asleep. For in that drowsy state, between waking and sleeping, your subconscious mind is most receptive. It will accept the imaginal scene as reality and begin the work of bringing it into manifestation. Do this night after night, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to conform to your inner vision. For you are engaging in the highest form of prayer, the prayer of assumption. You are assuming the state of being the best, and in doing so, you are calling it forth into manifestation. Now let us address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I am to act as I am the best, does that mean I should ignore my current shortcomings or areas where I need improvement? This is a profound question and it deserves a careful answer. The truth is, acknowledging areas for growth and acting as you are the best are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are two sides of the same coin. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you naturally seek growth and improvement, not from a place of lack or insufficiency, but from a desire to more fully express your divine nature. Think of it this way. A master musician, acknowledged as one of the best in the world, still practices daily. A champion athlete at the peak of their game still trains rigorously. They do this not because they doubt their abilities, but because they are committed to expressing the fullness of their potential. So yes, by all means, identify areas where you can grow and improve, but do so from the state of being the best. Approach your growth not as a struggle to overcome deficiencies, but as an exciting opportunity to express more of your innate perfection. Remember, you are not becoming the best. You are the best, here and now, by virtue of your oneness with God. Any growth or improvement is simply a more complete manifestation of what already exists within you. Now, let us explore the ripple effects of acting as you are the best. When you embody this state, you become a living example of what is possible. You inspire others to recognize and express their own divine nature. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for others. This is the true meaning of leadership. It's not about holding a position of authority or having others follow you. It's about being such a pure expression of your divine nature that you naturally uplift and inspire those around you. As you act as you are the best, you will find your relationships transforming. People will be drawn to your energy, your confidence, your joy. They will sense the God within you and respond to it with their own higher nature. You will find yourself surrounded by others who support and encourage your growth, who celebrate your successes as their own. In your work, you will find a new level of creativity and productivity. Ideas will flow to you effortlessly. Solutions to problems will present themselves with surprising ease. You will approach challenges, not with fear or stress, but with excitement and confidence, knowing that within you lies the infinite wisdom and power of God. Your health and vitality will improve as you align more fully with your divine nature. Remember, your body is a perfect reflection of your state of consciousness. As you embody the state of being the best, your body will naturally move towards its optimal state of health and well-being. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we discuss these principles. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if I act as I am the best, won't I become arrogant or egotistical? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of what it truly means to be the best. True greatness, my dear friends, is inherently humble. When you truly recognize and embody your divine nature, you simultaneously recognize this same divinity in all beings. You understand that your greatness is not personal. It is the greatness of God expressing itself through you. This understanding leads not to arrogance, but to a deep sense of gratitude and reverence for life. You become filled with a desire to serve, to share your gifts, to lift others up. For you recognize that in doing so, you are serving and uplifting God. So as you act as you are the best, do so with humility and love. Let your greatness be a gift to the world, a channel through which divine love and creativity can flow. This is the true meaning of being the best. Not to stand above others, but to stand as a clear expression of the divine, inspiring others to do the same. Now let us talk about persistence. Acting as you are the best is not a one-time event. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It is a continuous choice, a moment-by-moment decision to align with your true nature. There will be times when it feels challenging. There will be moments when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. In these moments, you must persist. Remember, you are retraining your mind, rewiring your consciousness. This takes time and consistent effort. But here's the beautiful truth. Every time you choose to act as you are the best, every time you align with your divine nature, you make it easier to do so in the future. You are creating new neural pathways, new patterns of thought and behavior. Over time, being the best becomes your natural state, requiring no effort at all. So persist, my dear friends. Be vigilant in guarding your thoughts and assumptions. Be steadfast in your faith, even when appearances seem to contradict it. For remember, what you persist in assuming must invariably come to pass. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Acting as you are the best is not about achieving some future state of perfection. It's about recognizing and expressing the perfection that already exists within you, here and now. You are not becoming the best. You are the best by virtue of your oneness with God. Your task is simply to remove the veils of limiting beliefs and false assumptions that have hidden this truth from you. As you do this, as you consistently act from the state of being the best, you allow more and more of your divine nature to express itself in your life. Remember, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of spirit, in the imagination of God, all is now. The best version of you already exists, complete and perfect. By acting as you are the best, you are simply aligning your human consciousness with this eternal truth. So I urge you, my beloved friends, go forth from this place with a new understanding, a new commitment to living as the divine being that you are. Let every thought, every word, every action be an expression of your best self. Live from the state of being the best. And watch and wonder as your world transforms to match this new state of consciousness. For you are the operant power in your life. You are the God of your universe. As you think, as you feel, as you assume, so shall your world be. Therefore, assume the best, feel the joy and confidence of being the best, and your world will have no choice but to reflect this back to you. I remind you of the words of Scripture. I and my Father are one. This is not a statement of future possibility, but a recognition of eternal truth. You are one with the creative power of the universe. You are the best because you are an expression of the best, the divine, perfect, limitless God. So go now and live from this truth. Act as you are the best, not as a performance or a pretense, but as a revelation of who you truly are. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for others. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect expression of God in this world. Remember, your imagination's God. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, use it powerfully. Imagine the best, feel the best, be the best. For that is what you are now and always. Thank you, and may your journey of self-discovery and divine expression be filled with joy, wonder, and infinite possibility. As we conclude our exploration of acting as you are the best, I want to emphasize the transformative power of this practice. By consistently embodying your highest self, you set in motion a series of events that will reshape your entire world. Remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. As you maintain the feeling of being the best, your circumstances will inevitably align with this new self-concept. This journey of acting as you are the best is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, times when the old patterns of thought attempt to reassert themselves. In these moments, stand firm in your conviction. Return to your imaginal acts, to the feeling of being the best. For it is your persistence in maintaining this state that will ultimately bring it into full manifestation. As you continue on this path, you will find that being the best becomes effortless. It will no longer feel like an act, but a natural expression of who you truly are. You will move through the world with grace and ease, knowing that you are a perfect expression of your life will become a living testament to the power of imagination and the truth of your oneness with God. Remember, my dear friends, that in acting as you are the best, you're not only transforming your own life, but you are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. For we are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. As you rise, you lift others with you. Your light shines not just for you, but for all who cross your path. So go forth now, embodying the truth of your divine nature. Act as you are the best, not from a place of ego, but from a deep recognition of your oneness with God. Let every thought, every word, every action be a reflection of this truth. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect channel through which the infinite love and creativity of God can flow into this world. Remember, you are the best because you are God expressing as you. Now go and live from this glorious truth.